Algoriters, grab your cocktail. I got if you know me, you know exactly what this is. Buttery Chardonnay. It's going to be an interesting show tonight. Let's see who's joining us. JP Mills, welcome back to Celebrity Court. SL, welcome back to Celebrity Court. Essie Stone, welcome back. Venetia Phillips, hey, you made it on time. Welcome back. Deliria Washington, welcome back. E.A. Did I announce that? I forgot how to say it. E.A. Let me know if I'm doing it right. Please send me the phonetics again. Venetia Phillips, JP Mills. Let's see who else is here. Afra Sings, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Colette Davis, thank you. Welcome back. Kendra Jones, welcome back. And Lathea Robinson Smith, good evening to you all as well. All right, welcome. Jury of the Court of Clicks, Likes, and Live Streams. That's you all. Tonight, we've got a lineup of 5 explosive celebrity legal dramas. We got a stolen gun at the airport, our cartel deportation, sexual assault, a constitutional traffic showdown, and now Lil Nas X. Yes, you heard me correctly. Lil Nas X found nearly naked in Los Angeles and accused of assaulting cops. Oh no, from stolen weapons to mental health stunts, the question is the same. Are these real crises or PR ploys? Or is there ever any criminal intent when it comes to celebrities? Let's bring out the legal beagles for tonight's show to break down the cases and let us know how they really feel. First up, Jason Weiss, welcome back. And Sean Carter, counselors, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Your Honor. Happy to be here.
Don't look so excited, Counselor.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's go.
All right. Okay, algoriters.
He's Lil Nasin.
Jury members, please don't forget to hit that like button. Also, don't forget that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, be sure to hit that share button. Turn on your notification as always, drop down in the chat because tonight we're going to try a different format, which will be giving our verdicts at the end of each story and having you share yours too. Court is now in session. First up, Erica Banks at the airport with a gun. Listen, airports are already stress people out. And a gun, and you're playing Russian roulette with your freedom. But here's the kicker. Not only did she have a gun in TSA, which is illegal, she claims she didn't know it was stolen. Since when did ignorance become a defense in America? As you know, Erica Banks is a rapper and love and hip hop Atlanta star who was arrested at an airport after security discovered she had a stolen firearm in her possession. Her attorney insists she had no idea the weapon was stolen. But guess what? Under federal law, possession of a gun is not only illegal in the airport, but also it requires proof she knew or had reason to know it was stolen, because that is a double fine. If prosecutors can't prove intent, the case may collapse. So I'm going to go to you first, Attorney Sean Carter. Should not knowing a gun is stolen, let's not talk about the fact that you're not supposed to have the gun in the airport. Right. All right, let's not talk about the fact, Sean Carter, that the gun is in a purse. Okay, right? And she's going to claim she didn't know the gun was in a purse and she didn't know the gun was stolen. That's double felonies, right? But the fact that it was stolen takes her charges up higher. So should not knowing a gun is stolen excuse her, or its possession alone enough to get a guilty verdict?
And interestingly enough, possession alone is not enough. You actually have to know it's stolen. And part of that makes sense. Let's say you went to a legitimate gun store and you bought something and they had stolen it, right? So you have to have some reason to know. Now, here's the thing is, reason to know is if you bought it shady-like. So if you bought it in an alley from Pookie for $50, right, in a ham sandwich, all right, then you probably should know that Pookie didn't buy that for $500. And the thing, by the way, let's be clear, it's not the most expensive gun. It's like $500. They pulled a $500 gun out of her $4,000 Louis Vuitton purse.
And she had no explanation as to what those scratches were, why there was no serial number on it. She didn't want people knowing it was her gun, you know. That's
well, let's start, guys. Let's bring everybody on the stage at the same time. Let's bring everybody on the stage at the same time, please, Bailiff. Let's start with the fact that where and why would you carry your gun in your purse when you're going to take a flight out? Like, and you can't. Let me tell you something. This is what I do know. She can't say she forgot the gun was in her purse, because I'm gonna tell you something. A woman knows every damn thing in her purse. Okay, you move something out of a woman's purse, she can tell you the time you moved it, because if it stays in there all day, it leans up against stuff. I'm telling you. How does this happen, Jason Weiss?
So look, I have a friend who was getting ready to travel across the country with his son for a lacrosse tournament, grabbed the backpack out of his trunk, went in, put his bag through, and he had his gun in there. Why? He grabbed the wrong backpack, right? And he got arrested. He had federal charges. He had all these things and all of that. So, look, my father used to travel with a pocket knife. Every time he would go in there and walk through, he was making a donation to Amnesty of the Swiss Army knife and buying a new one when he landed.
Right.
She should have known that it was in her purse, right? So if it was in her purse, it's not in a lockbox. It's not in checked bags. You haven't declared it. It's illegal. You can't do it. But then when they pulled out the gun and they found that it was stolen, forget it. That went from just a minor, okay, we could deal with this, to because in and of itself, the possession of a stolen firearm is a federal crime.
Right. So let me ask you this. So will she be charged for having the gun?
You know,
I looked into this. It normally, like your friend, you get charged with the federal crime of trying to bring a gun on an airplane, which, interestingly enough, is not the biggest crime. Like, almost nobody goes to jail for that. Your friend probably got a fine for you.
Got a fine
and probation or whatever it is, and you're fine. So if the gun wasn't stolen, she'd be fine now. The problem is that when the gun is stolen, then it's a big deal, because we're concerned about people running around with criminal guns, etc. And so when they found out the gun was reported stolen, then the Fed said, hey, you got it. We back off. And so she's only being charged not with bringing the gun on the plane or trying to bring the gun on the plane, but she's being charged with having a stolen gun. So if she was in Arby's, she would have got charged with the same charge for having a stolen gun.
Yep.
And by the way, the thing is interesting is her defense is, I didn't know it was in there. And this is where Your Honor, you have a great point. She says, my security put it in there. And I believe that about a lot of stuff. Your security might pack your bag. But I don't know about you, Al, but I was raised in a house with a woman that you could not touch. I've been married to my wife for 33 years. All right. I didn't see that woman all kind of naked. I ain't been inside her purse. Yeah.
Jason, you go on your wife's purse?
Only when she tells me to please go in there.
And you can, right? Yep. All right. Lathea Robertson Smith said, where are the ladies? Venetia Phillips says she should have been arrested for that BBL. Oh, Lord. All right, Venetia, you coming out with guns blazing tonight. Jeanette Taylor says, really, wow. Afra Singh says, why is it in a purse, not a lockbox in a checked luggage? We're asking the same thing.
If it was in a lockbox and checked luggage, they probably wouldn't have even known it was stolen, and this would not be in the press.
Vepapar says she sounds like a low IQ individual. I agree with that too. Christine R says no female representation tonight. So Christine R says, so I guess we're having a sausage party tonight. Okay, let's go. Yeah. Good Tar Diva RBA says, I'm here for the all-male review.
We should make clear, by the way. All right. The ladies will be back. They have better stuff to do. All right. One of them is on a boat somewhere. I'm not getting into business and telling you which one. So trust me, the ladies are
taking care of
some business. We got to go ahead and renegotiate our contracts.
I know, exactly. It's ridiculous.
All right, here's a question for the viewers. Would you believe her defense? Do you believe her defense? Or is this just another case of thinking that she can exercise celebrity privilege. Drop down in the chat. Do you believe her defense, or is this just another case of celebrity privilege? Drop down in the chat. All right, this is a part of the show. We're going to try something different. We're going to give our verdict here after the case has been reviewed. So here's the verdict poll. Bailiff, please put this up. Guilty of negligence or not guilty in the court of public opinion? Let's go to you, Attorney Carter. Is she guilty of negligence or not guilty in the court of public opinion? What say you?
She's guilty of negligence, and all right, she's also guilty of being cheap. All right, if you're gonna get a Louis, then you put real gun in it. All right, and she's guilty of this. I don't know about you, but if I am going somewhere and think I need to have a gun, I don't go there. I'm certainly not paying money to get on a plane. So wherever you were going, if you thought it was more dangerous than where you should have stayed at home. Don't go anywhere if you think you need the gun.
All right, Attorney Wise, guilty for negligence or not guilty in the court of public opinion?
She is guilty for negligence and guilty in the court of public opinion. She is guilty of both.
All right, I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court. Bailiff, bring me on the main stage, and I'm going to find her guilty of ignorance. There's so much ignorance here. Like, you're guilty of ignorance. You're guilty of, taking a gun in an airport and thinking you're going to get away with it. And then you're guilty for being stupid enough to take that gun and it be stolen. So whoever your boyfriend is that said he got you, he is setting you up for the feds.
Yeah, he did got her. He got her.
Guilty for stupidity. Girl, you can't get no dumber than that. I hope the publicity was what you wanted. All right, everybody. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. This is a case of deportation and cartel allegations. Now, when the feds can't pin you down in court, nowadays with Trump, they will put you on a one-way flight home and out of the United States. Chavez Jr. didn't just lose his residency, he lost his freedom to cartel allegations that haven't even been proven. Deportation or conviction, which is the real punishment here? I say deportation. This is the case, everybody. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., son of boxer Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., was arrested in Los Angeles and deported immediately to Mexico, where he was jailed on allegations of cartel involvement. The U.S. government passed by criminal trial proceedings using immigration law to remove him instead. I think they're looking for any reason to get your ass out of this country these days. This echoes past cases where deportation has been used as a shortcut when convictions were harder to secure. This is a very interesting situation here. So instead of proving that he was part of a cartel, they said, let's just deport him because that's what we're doing now in the United States. All right, Jason Weiss, let's go to you. Did the U.S. deport him to dodge a messy cartel trial? Or are they just following Donald Trump's, our president's, say?
So I think the answer is both. Okay. Prior to the current administration, it is extremely possible that if this exact circumstance went down, he would have been deported. Why?
Really?
He had some agreements and some history with narcotics, gang affiliation.
Order in the court. Sean Carter, I don't agree. I think if it's a cartel, listen to me. Just listen to my crazy.
I didn't say a word, Your Honor. I'm just shaking my head no.
Listen to my crazy thought.
Right.
Attorney Carter, y'all jump in here. If it's a cartel and you know that drugs are a problem in your country and he's a part of a huge cartel, wouldn't you want to use him as a guinea pig to catch the other main cartel people?
Of course.
Right? So wouldn't you want to kind of trap him up in order to stop the big cartel from being in the United States, which is driving our freaking country down the drain with drug use? Why would you just ship him away? Because if you ship him away, you're not getting after the cartel who's stealing all your money, Trump. Because cartels steal money from the U.S. economy.
But here's the thing about this. This isn't the cartel that we were going after, though. This is the Mexicans were going after these people. So he has an arrest warrant in Mexico. In 2023, he then decided, I'm going to come to the U.S. and avoid that. Now, how he got into the U.S. is amazing in the first place, because when you file a visa application, they're supposed to look and say, "Hey, are you part of a cartel?"
Prior cases.
Exactly. They missed that somehow because they must have Googled it, right? And so they let him in. And then for the last 2 years, he's been running around here. Now, remember, you don't get a 2-year visa. So he only has 6 months visa. He's supposed to go back in 6 months in 2024. He doesn't go back. And he is hiding in plain sight on a damn pay-per-view, boxing, right? This is crazy. Like, he's the most easy person to find in the world. Now, what is different, though, I think, is that our president probably would, our last president probably would have thrown him back before. They let this fool stay for the fight, right? Get his money, make Jake Paul his money, right? And then shift him off. I bet they didn't send the money with him. I bet they kept the money here too, right? Stole his money, right? And so basically, it's kind of harsh because they could have gotten him anytime within the last 2 years. Think about it. If Jake Paul could find him, they certainly could find him, right? And they weren't looking for it. They're like, you know what, just let you get your money. And so for the last several months, they just been like waiting for, I'm sure Trump was
just laying in the cut. All right, Jason, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
You say it right.
What were your thoughts?
Courtroom.
Huh?
It's your courtroom. It's okay. No, but look, it a lot of times what they'll do, look, he's a very high profile person. You can't use him as a snitch. You can't use him as a CI. You can't use him as an informant. So why go ahead and spend all of our resources and tie up all the courts, because we have no litigation pending anywhere in the United States under the current regime, because, you know, that we're not a lawsuit society anymore. So why waste time on that? Look, they sent him home. It is a strategy that was used not as frequently as it's currently being used, but it's something that has been used in the past. And I do think that
I'm gonna let you have that one right there. I'm gonna let
and I do think that even past administrations would have done something like that.
I just my question here for both of the counselors is this: if you really were trying to make an example of him in the country as it relates to the drug trafficking that occurs across the Mexican border, why wouldn't you hem him up and use him as an example to send a message to the cartels, even the larger cartels, that you don't want to fuck with us or our borders any longer? That's my only question. You guys explained it well. So
because it's easier to ship him back to Mexico where he did all the stuff and let them deal with him than us do it here, because there's not much that would have happened here. He's in for a harsher penalty there, and I think the message is, come here, step out of line, we're sending you back.
Right. No. I think you're missing my point. My point is, why not use him to send messages to Mexican cartels? Like, you don't want to fuck around in America. We're tired of your shit, and we're about to close the border, because that's what he's preaching, is closing the border. So why not use him as an example?
No, we're just going to paint the wall.
At the end of the day, you're going to ship him. You're going to deport him anyway. It doesn't matter. But why not use him as an example to send a message to the Mexican cartel? All good. Let's go to the comments. OG Patrice says, Judge L drinking on the bench. Everyone's guilty. You right. Everybody's about to be guilty. Rodney Maiden, he's too high profile to use as an informant. Well, that's what Jason Weiss says. Belpa Parr says, save the taxpayers' dollars and deport him because he's committed a crime. Oh, that's interesting. Venetia Phillips says, yes, Christine R., I want to know what happened, but once she get her teeth y'all want to hear about that. Christine R. says, Al, can you talk about Tate Marcus? Girl, what the hell? Well, it is a crime what's going on with that story, but we are not going to touch it here. All right, let's keep it moving, everybody. Here we go. For the viewers, is deportation justice or a shortcut? When prosecutors don't have enough evidence, is deportation justice or a shortcut when prosecutors don't have enough evidence? All right, for our verdict portion of the show at the end of this case, is this decision a fair move or an abuse of power in the court of public opinion? Court of public opinion, you guys drop down in the chat. Is this a fair move or an abuse of power in the court of public opinion? I'm going to go to you, Attorney Weiss, first. Is this a fair move or abuse of power in the court of public opinion?
So in the court of public opinion, I think it's seen as an abuse of power. In the legal system, it's legitimate, it's allowed, and it's overused.
Okay, Attorney Carter, what say you?
Yeah, I would echo those sentiments to simply say that I'm not sure that there was enough evidence of his criminal wrongdoing within the U.S. for the U.S. to bring a case about this and to really make it a big deal. Most of the crimes he probably committed were in Mexico. You send them back. The message, though, I think for most of us is when you go somewhere else and you're visiting, you can't use, and think about it, you don't want to use the U.S. or any state as a safe haven. You committed some crimes elsewhere. You come to the U.S., you just get to stay here for forever. So, no, you send them back and let them deal with it.
All right, I'm Allan. I'm the judge here in Celebrity Court, and I'm going to find him. I'm going to find the United States government guilty of being pussies. Guilty. You should have strung him by his toes. You should have plucked them out, his fingernails out one by one. Until he told us everybody was a part of the cartel, because we're tired of them bringing all those drugs over here and ruining our country. All right.
He has a better chance of getting that. He has a better chance of getting that penalty sending him back. Here, he just would have been in a cushy cell and he would have been applying oil to Diddy. No, it's all good.
I would have used my trunkonomics, and I would have used an example to like chase him. All right, guys, let's go to the next case. Allan Muses, I guess Muses. All right, from reality TV to real life consequences. This is so sad for me. Allan Muses is facing not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 counts of sexual assault. Yeah, you heard me correctly, 4. When it gets to that number, the question is whether the smoke means fire. And to me, if it's 4, something is burning, and it's sure, and like I say, something in the milk ain't clean. All right, so former Love and Hip Hop Miami cast member Allan Muses was arrested and charged with 4 counts of sexual assault. He was extradited back to Michigan after being apprehended out of state. Michigan law allows testimony about, quote, other acts, end quote, to demonstrate patterns in sex crime cases similar to the prosecution strategies used in the Bill Cosby trial. Yep. Multiple counts suggest prosecutors are pursuing a pattern-based case rather than a single incident. That is interesting. Okay. So let's go to you first, Sean Carter. How do we balance protecting victims with making sure defendant gets due process? And why are they so quick in the state of Michigan to prove that it's pattern-based?
Well, and let's be clear. He's being charged with 4 counts, but the same incident. So they're saying that.
Does that mean, okay, help me.
So for instance, what they're saying is
4 counts mean 4 different women?
Nope. 1 woman, 4 different crimes against her. So they're saying, for instance, penetration is 1 different crime. All right. Force and coercion is another different crime. Personal injury, that it hurt her and injured her, is another crime. And then they have aggravated things like, you made her have, you caused her nightmares and trauma, etc. And so it's 1 incident. They're saying one night in 2010, he committed this act against this 1 person, and they're using multiple counts. And they want him to run consecutively.
Yeah, okay, I get that. I get it. And let me tell you something. Any type of sexual assault, abuse against someone who said no is wrong. Right, Court? Court, we agree that that's wrong. But pattern-based, to me, and comparing it to Bill Cosby, when it's 1 person and he has 65 or 85.
They're totally different. No, I agree. And this is not a Bill Cosby case. This is not a Bill Cosby case.
I don't like it. I don't like the fact that you try to coattail on that, especially on Black men. It's just something about that says to me, it speaks excessive.
It would be, except for the fact that we're only getting that from media reports and rumors and gossip. People probably misunderstood that the 4 different counts were against the same woman. The prosecution hasn't said they're going to call anybody else. This is 1 man against 1 woman's word. Now, from a due process standpoint, you do have an interesting question. It's 15 years ago. There is no evidence that could have survived this point in time. So it's her word against his, and they did something interesting here. Because he was in Miami. Remember, he's on Miami. Yeah. They went and got him all right, and said we're going to go across.
Yeah, they took him to Michigan.
Absolutely, they contacted the police in Jason's neighborhood and say, "Hey, you go get him." They had to get a judge to sign off on that. It says, "Okay, you go get him," and then they brought him all the way back to Michigan. And part of it is Michigan based, like you mentioned. This is the thing that's important. Michigan decided around the Me Too time that we are going to really make this a priority, to go after all of these old cases, these cold cases that nobody, has solved, et cetera, with regard to abuse. And so they would go into Japan, all right, to get them. They decided this is their main priority, to go after everybody. From a due process standpoint, though, it is questionable. It's interesting because how does he defend himself for something that happened 15 years ago?
Yeah, and on top of that, I need to know sorry, I don't care. Be mad at me. Blame it on the buttery Chardonnay. What color is she? That's what I need to know. I need to know what color is she. I'm not victim shaming. Please don't drop down in the chat talking about I'm victim shaming. Let me know what color she is. I want to know, why are they so aggressively going after this and using him as an example and call it pattern based. He's not, this isn't, well, for now, what we know, he doesn't have 10 other women that he allegedly assaulted. Why would they be so aggressive on this young man in this case? Jason Weiss, what's your thought?
So she was a 20-year-old female student at Western Michigan University at the time of the assault. She reported the incident immediately to university police and underwent a forensic medical examination. Her name has not been released, and none of her, information has either. So, look, Michigan is cracking down. Michigan is known for this. This is not new to Michigan. Okay. This is not. Look, he was in Miami because that's every other weekend down here, and I don't mean that to make light of the situation.
It is. You're right. It happens every weekend. You're right. It's
a different part of the United States. And look, if it were California, it would be just as bad. New York, it would be bad. Michigan, they're going to allow these other acts to come out. I think there's more to this story that hasn't been released yet.
You know what? It's just, to me, and I hate to say this, if he did something so heinous and so bad, of course the court wants to make sure that he serves his time. I just don't like this concept of using a young, successful black man as an example, because his life is ruined. I mean, be very clear. He would be on the sex predators list.
Yep.
He would be, it's a felon, right, Attorney Carter?
Oh, no, it's not just felony. I told you Michigan's serious about this. The maximum punishment is life. All right? It's certainly going to be several years. And he is originally from the Dominican Republic. So guess what happens? And unless he has citizenship status, guess what happens?
They got to ship his ass out of here too. That's just a sad situation. I want to know, as far as just from the two of you, just tell me what you think. Don't monitor your thoughts. Does he have a chance of recovering from this or getting out of this?
In public opinion or court?
Court.
Yeah. I mean, look, if they don't have enough evidence, look, DNA from 2010, I am very confident an attorney like Brian Ross would poke holes in that. So I have a feeling he was going to get some sort of punishment, that something is going to come down, but probably not life, probably not anything significant, because again, 15 years.
It's a lot. 15 years ago. All right, Christine R says, why are you blurry, Sean? Your Teddy Riley Wi-Fi is acting up.
It was.
JP Mills says he will get deported.
Yeah, 100%.
Keita 75 says, hello, everyone. Welcome, Keita. Alfred Singh says he says it's like Michigan. Oh, Michigan. Okay. Who else do we have here? JP Miles says that's crazy. Christine R said the men are long-winded. Shaitan would have cut them off by now. You know what, Christine R, whose side are you on? Like, come on. Are you on Jason's side? Are you on the man's side? Whose side are you on, Christine R? Come on now. Venetia Phillips says, I've never seen him on Love and Hip Hop. He's probably one of those reoccurring. All right, let's get to the algorithms. Algorithms, do you think this is accountability or is fame making it him an easy target for old accusations? Given what's going on, it just makes me have a side eye. Let's ask the viewers the question again. Do you think this is accountability or is fame making him an easy target for old accusations? And I never want to victim shame or anything like that. I do want to believe a victim when she says she was abused. All right, so let's go to our verdict. All right, everybody, this is the verdict time. Jason and Sean, should we hold him accountable or give him the benefit of the doubt in the court of public opinion? Algorithms jump down in the chat. Should we hold him accountable, find him guilty, or give him the benefit of the doubt in the court of public opinion? Let's start with you first, Jason Weiss. Is he guilty, hold him accountable, or give him the benefit of the doubt?
Cecilia Golden said it spot on. So her comment was golden. It's an allegation, but if he did it, he should have the consequences. So look, this is going to play out. This is going to play out in the court. This might play out in the public opinion because he's not that big of a name, but he's enough of a name that people would read. I say give it some time. I have a feeling he's going to please something out, and he will not have his life ruined.
I agree. All right, Sean Carter, why are you looking like that?
That's
that rested fuck you face.
No, I'm actually reading the comments. I actually liked one of them here that basically said, where was that? Afra Sings, need more information. At this point, none of us really know. We only have, her side of the story and then maybe his side of the story.
Counselor, I don't want to hear that. Guilty or not guilty?
No, I'll tell you who's guilty. And maybe it's not even a guilt. But what we do know for sure is Michigan. Don't play.
Don't play no games.
All right, don't play no games in Michigan.
State.
Wrong state. And, here's the thing about this. Remember, they didn't make a decision until several years after this happened. This was on their college campus, etc. At the time, they weren't that serious. And it's got to be a good thing that people are finally taking these complaints women have seriously. So I can't really be mad at Michigan. I don't know what his case is, but it's a good thing that they're trying to hold people accountable.
All right, I'm Al Reynolds, and we're gonna find him guilty. Guilty for being stupid. Guilty for thinking you're famous. And you were only like a walk-on on Love and Hip Hop. You went to this college town. You probably had like a walkthrough. You probably had an event there. Met a cutie, got her drunk, and did too much. Guilty for being stupid. You learned that day, buddy, that you can't look like you and I with skin like this and expect that you're going to be able to behave like that. Guilty for being stupid. Sorry, I find him guilty. Next up, this traffic stop right here really fascinated me. R. Nelson, an NFL player, pulls out the Constitution instead of his driver's license. It was a bold move, and I loved every second of it. But here's the problem. Judges have been shutting down sovereign citizen arguments for decades, which I said in the chambers to the lawyers that I feel like someone told him this. Even a lawyer told him this, and he believed it. So is he fighting for our rights or just starring in his own TikTok courtroom? All right, former Houston Texan cornerback R. Nelson filmed himself doing a traffic stop, which I liked, challenging police authority and citing his constitutional right to travel. While the U.S. Supreme Court has upheld freedom of movement, it has also ruled that states can regulate driving with license and vehicle registration. Courts have repeatedly dismissed sovereign citizen arguments, but the legality of the traffic stop itself could still be challenged if procedures weren't followed. Bailiff, take it away.
Don't worry, this is being recorded on
No, it's fine. It's for me.
Do you have a driver's license on
No,
you?
I'm traveling under my land rights.
Okay, is this your car by chance?
It's under a trust.
It's under a trust? Okay. So do you have a driver's license to operate
None
a
of that.
vehicle?
I'm traveling under my land rights.
Okay.
That's it.
So the sticker on your car shows that it's registered, but it's expired by like 2 years or something.
Because I'm traveling under my land rights. It's under the trust. It's not under me.
So a
or
vehicle still has
anything.
to be registered to operate on the roads in the state of Arizona.
I could travel through Arizona.
Correct, but a vehicle operating on our roads has to have registration.
I'm not a part of y'all jurisdiction. That's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
you are, sir. You're in the city of Phoenix right now. You're very much part of my jurisdiction.
I'm not a part of it. I'm
Yes.
traveling through the jurisdiction, but my land rights say I could travel everywhere freely. I could travel.
Correct. That is one of your rights as a citizen.
I could travel. I'm not driving.
You are. This
I'm
is
in
a
my
motor vehicle.
No,
You're
no,
in
no, no,
control
no.
of it.
I'm
You're driving.
traveling in my land vessel. I'm not
motor vehicle operating on the streets of the city of Phoenix
in your
the state
opinion.
of Arizona.
I get it. In your opinion, I know the law.
I do too, sir.
I know all of that, and
Okay.
I'm not a part of it. I remove myself from all jurisdiction of America.
You removed yourself.
From any jurisdiction of America, yes, it is governed. It went to the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, everything. It
Okay.
is.
So
But
this is registered under a trust, but it's your trust,
It's a
correct?
trust.
Okay, so why'd you register this car if you
No,
removed
I
yourself?
didn't do anything. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Please,
So what's your name, brother? Just so I can talk to you like a person.
I'm traveling on my land rights, man.
And I'm just asking-
I understand, bro. I'm not trying to be an asshole.
I understand.
But
No, you're being very polite. I respect that.
But I understand if I don't confirm anything with you, then that puts me back in this jurisdiction. I understand the codes. I understand all of that.
Okay, do you understand United
All right.
States Supreme Court?
Let's go here.
John Carter, I'm moving to Arizona just for that.
Listen, hold on, please, because we got an argument in the chambers. Everybody, I liked it. I like the fact that he sounded like he knew what he was talking about to me. So in the court of public opinion, I felt like leave that man alone. But let's start with you, Attorney Carter. Tell me why we can't leave that man alone.
Okay, so I understand his argument, and he's saying that basically, and it's true, Americans have a constitutional right to travel. Okay, now the constitutional right to travel, understand, is not really a right that you get to go anywhere. What it says is when you go somewhere, a state can't discriminate against you. So, for instance, if you move to another state, they have to recognize your marriage. They have to, allow you to buy property if anybody else gets to buy property, etc. But to travel through the state of Arizona, right? You had to go on public roads in Arizona, and then you do become subject to Arizona jurisdiction.
All right,
By the way,
okay, let's
Right.
dial it back for the dummies like me.
mhm.
What is sovereign land rights? What does it mean if he wasn't in a car?
If he weren't in a car, this would not be an issue. It would be, I think, a Southwest commercial. You are free to move around the country, about the country, right? That's what it is.
You don't have to have. What don't you have to be able to move freely? And why did he so?
Al, you could start from Maine and walk all the way through to Florida, and nobody can bother you. Maybe if you're doing things like walking on a road in the middle of traffic, or
The
maybe
problem is this, though, you really can't, because guess what? You'd be walking across somebody's property every step of the way. So unless you own the entire U.S.,
No, public
it's not really a
domain.
right to property.
No, public
look,
domain.
but I mean, look,
public domain.
but if
highways,
you
no,
Highways
if
are
you-
part of the state. They
They're
own
part- yeah.
that. They own that property.
so you can't. I thought.
Public domain.
Listen, I love this conversation because listen, I'm learning, and you guys know I learn something every day. So you're telling me public property, public property has nothing to do with my constitutional rights of sovereign?
Well, think about it this way, right? It's public property. If it's public property, can you take out a can of spray paint and paint where you want? Can you go ahead and take use the restroom?
What's the point of it? And I'm not being argumentative. I honestly want to know, because y'all beat up on me. So what are his constitutional right to travel mean? What are his
Not a damn thing.
What is his
Nothing.
sovereign
Look,
citizenship?
see, here's the thing. And I was watching The Hunt for Red October earlier today. So this was this. And one of the gentlemen who is on the ship, he says he wants to move to Montana and he plans on going to California and all of this. And Sean Connery's character said, you don't need papers to do that. And that's what it was. That's what it's all about. It used to be that if you wanted to go from site to site, city to city, country to country, wherever it was, even though it was still in the USSR at the time, you needed papers to move to the next zone. You don't need anything to go from Florida to Georgia. Nothing, right? But if Georgia says that if they pull you over and your car registration is expired and it's a Florida plate, guess what? You're still getting that ticket in Georgia. It's not like, something that's allowed. Now here's the kicker. If I'm legally licensed in Florida to drive at 16, or my son at 16, or my daughter at 16, and they cross in and they're driving through and they get pulled over and they're like, oh, I'm 16 and I have my driver's license, they can't arrest you for driving below. You have that license from Florida. So that's where it carries through. So his argument was creative. His argument was good. If he maybe never registered the car ever, he would have had a better chance. But having
if the registration was up to date.
No, it was not.
No, I
2
said
years expired.
if his registration was up to date, would he have a different argument? That's my question.
Oh yeah, then he'd be fine. He would.
Well, if his registration wasn't expired
right
in whatever state that it was registered in, would he have been okay?
He probably wouldn't have been pulled over.
Right. Or exactly. And by the way, Arizona, I get to, because this is my home state. They will, when I first got here, I was like, I'm not going to change my driver's license and do all that. I'm not sure I like it here. And sure enough, I got pulled over. They were like, these are out-of-state tags. Let me see your out-of-state license. Gave me a nice $180 ticket. And you get here, you got about 3 hours to get your stuff changed. But if you're traveling through, it's fine. And he would have been fine, for instance, if he had his car registered, if he had a driver's license, and he's traveling through. They can't say, hey, you can't travel through our state. That's one thing.
Everybody knows he could afford the registration because he had those new shoes in the passenger seat that he probably spent a couple $100 for. All right, Christine R says, hold on. Christine R says, Jason's such a white dude. Quote, hello, honey. She said, hello, honey. Hello. I love me some Jason. He's the best.
It's a good movie. Sorry.
I do want to be clear.
That's a white dude.
Yeah, that's the whitest movie there is. But I want to be clear about this because people seem to have this idea of sovereign citizenship. And that's the same person who came up with that. You know what that is? That's Wesley Snipes' lawyer. Yeah. All right, that's what happens when Wesley Snipes said you want to pay taxes, you're black. There is nothing in the Constitution that gives you any right to opt out of and by the way, I'm glad of that. In the Civil War, the South tried to opt out, tried to be sovereign citizens, and we said, no, you got to stay. All right. And so the whole point is you don't get to just, if you live in here, you part of us. You don't
all
get
right. JP Mills said Attorney Sean Carter is U state, is the U state. Sean Carter is the U state. All right. What if he hits someone? All right. Let's keep it going. Here we go, algorithms. This is a question right here. Was this a brave stand for freedom? I promise you, I loved it. I love every second of it. I love a good read on a cop. Come on, algorithms. Y'all get my back on this. I love a good read on a cop who's trying to be an asshole. But I got to be honest, this cop was very gentle with them. So
better than I would have been.
I want to know, do we know what he was he ticketed? He obviously wasn't arrested. So what you got a ticket?
Attorney Weiss, calm down. Okay, sir, calm down, because don't expose the fact that we don't know the details. Okay, viewers, was this a brave stand for freedom or just a viral stunt gone wrong? I don't think it was a viral stunt. Viewers, was this a brave stand for freedom or just a viral stunt go wrong? All right, everybody, this is the time for the verdict on this case. Is he a hero for rights or a clown for clicks in the court of public opinion? Is he a hero for rights or a clown for clicks in the court of public opinion? Let's go to you, Attorney Weiss. What say you?
So I think in a court of public opinion, he was not a clown. I think he legitimately believed it. And I do not think he actually was, he was given the ticket. And that's as far as I believe it went. And so be it. Look, operating it without, done. He's not a public thing. That will cover next.
All right, let's go, Attorney Carter. Is he a hero for rights or a clown for clicks in the court of public opinion?
Clown. And I mean homie the clown. I mean
really?
Damon Wayans in Living Color. You know what he sound like to me? Oswald Bates. Remember the prisoner? Uh-huh.
You know what? That's why you live in Phoenix, Arizona, because you white
the colon and rectosity. None of that shit was real. All right, you can't just run around. And the cop. Here's the thing about it is, I actually felt I was on the side of the white cop. You know how much black points I lost. I'm not your shade, Al. I'm gonna be Jason shade by the time the show's over. I ain't gonna get the cookout no more. I'm gonna
pay nobody that pink. Jason is
hey, homie, don't play that. Don't get me started. Homie, don't play that.
All right, everybody, here we go. I'm Al Reynolds, and I'm the judge here in the court of public opinion. I don't care what these counselors say. He is a hero of rights. He's a hero for rights. I'm so sick of cops messing with us. Y'all don't understand what it means to drive while being black, and definitely as a black man. He is a hero for rights. Baby, the way he was reading that cop, even though it was all wrong, felt good to me. I promise you it felt good to me. I felt like, that's right, brother. Let him have it. All right, everybody, let's keep it going. Lil Nas X, baby, what is he going through? Arrest in LA for assault and what some say are an overdose scare. What happens when a pop provocateur becomes an overnight headline, walking the streets in underwear, charging cops, hospitalized for suspected overdose? Is this alarming or pure performance art? Y'all gonna figure out, y'all gonna know what I think. All right, everybody, Lil Nas X was arrested in Studio City, Los Angeles on a suspicion of misdemeanor battery of a police officer after allegedly charging at an officer while nearly naked. He was later hospitalized for a possible overdose. Witness video shows him in underwear and white cowboy boots, placing a traffic cone on his head and behaving what many described as erratically. He remains booked at the Valley Jail in Van Nuys, meaning he is not released on bail. Public debate rages over whether this is a genuine mental health crisis or a publicity stunt, or maybe both. Bailiff, take it away.
Nah. Hey, don't be late to the party tonight.
Where at?
You know where it's at. Nah, go ahead, babe. Nah. Go ahead, babe. Nah. Didn't I tell you to put the phone down? Uh-oh, somebody's gonna have to pay for that. Da. Hey, for everybody coming to the party. La. Yes, I am serving you. I am serving you. And you better be at that party tonight. Oh, yes. 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 Yes, get my good side. Every side. Yes. Boom, cat towel. Sean Bankhead taught me that one. Bow! Bang! Bow! Woo! Bow! Batty boy, want you give it to me, baby? Batty boy, want you give it to me, baby? That's gonna be a beautiful sunrise. Give me that phone so I can throw it. I want to throw it far away so you never see it again. I don't like phones. Don't miss the party tonight. Why are you still here? You need to be telling everybody about the party, girl. What's your problem? Break it down.
All right, let's get into this because, you know, I got a whole lot of questions. I'm going to start with you, Attorney Whites, first. But I ain't buying none of that shit. I'm not buying any of it. Did you see the baby oil he had on his legs? Did you see how when you are that messed up that you're walking around naked, right? You're walking around naked, damn near naked.
Mm-hmm.
His drawers are cleaner than they're whiter than, that's the first time he pulled those drawers out. His boots are cleaner than clean. His skin is shining like he knew he was about to be a part of a production. This to me screams calculated, made up, and only for us to learn that he has an album coming out. All right, Jason, let's go to you. Let me just ask the basic question. Is this really a mental health issue, or is this performative at its best?
I think it is performative at its best. I do not believe this is a mental health issue. I believe that this was something that was planned. I do believe that it possibly got a little bit out of hand when the police got involved and were called and were told to go ahead and stop this. He didn't do anything wrong until the resisting arrest portion came of it. When the officer showed up, and if they told him, you need to put on some pants, get in a car, and go home, and he said, I don't want to, and they tried to touch him, and he fought them off, that's where the problem was.
All right, Attorney Carter, let's go to you real quick. Attorney Carter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean the question?
No, hold on. I'm just thinking about how ridiculous of my question I'm going to have here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it illegal to wear underwear in LA County, in California streets?
It's not illegal to wear underwear. If it's not, it should be illegal to wear tighty whities. And it should be, by the way, it should be illegal to wear tighty whities any goddamn wear. All right, I don't know what he got some 1930s drawers on. I'm surprised he didn't have a bowler and a top hat. All right, I don't know how the hell you get you some real drawers, brother. I got some lime green boxer briefs. That's how you do it. All right, don't make me show you.
Just don't stand up. Just don't stand up. We don't want to see it right now.
I'm not pants on. But the point is, though, you could. And here's about it, because we know this for years. New York City had a cowboy run around his drawers the whole time.
Yeah.
When Nas X got in trouble was he was in the middle of the street. Take your butt on the sidewalk, all right? And two, when you put the traffic on your head, now you got a problem because they need that traffic on. It was there for a reason, right? Now you're obstructing property. He could have been fined. It does look like a publicity stunt and a really bad one. But I would give him credit, because if I'd been out there, my ankles have been all ashy. You're right. All right. He looked too good to be. He also put on a little weight. He looked like he buff a little bit.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, though. In this case of them saying that he did a drug overdose, is it, and both lawyers jump in here, is it protocol to give him a drug test? Send him to the emergency room and drug test
so
him?
They sent him to the emergency room first. And they were like, maybe he's something wrong with him, etc. He went to the emergency room and they released him from the emergency room. So they didn't find anything that was.
I knew it.
And then they took him to jail. And by the way, he's there now on no bail for the next 48 hours or so.
I think that's because it was performative.
Right.
I think you didn't find any drug in his system at the emergency room. Your psych evaluation came back like ain't nothing wrong with him. So you're out here in the streets performing. You're doing this on purpose. And the other thing that I have to say, in LA, nobody cares that much about celebrities if they follow you for the length of time that they follow that man. Nobody. Listen, I lived in LA, in New York either. They will call it in and they will keep it moving. They're not following you for 30 minutes to see and filming you for 30 minutes to see what you're doing.
The person that was filming and following was somebody that was part of his team.
Right. And they got the perfect shot. There was not anything wrong about the shot.
Well, and that's my question, because I don't know if you've been to LA, right? I lived there for years, and I have never been anywhere in LA that wasn't bumper to bumper traffic. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. All right, it's gonna be bumper to bumper traffic, and we didn't see another car on that road, but the people who recording. That damn near might have been, if you got arrested, I thought it was a sound studio, right? And the fact that there's no other cars.
It's giving me. See, this is the deal with these younger celebrities, and this is just my opinion. Y'all can like it or not. These young celebrities, the drug is not drugs. The drug is fame. Yep. The drug is attention, and they'll do anything for it. This is giving me Jussie Smollett 4.0. You make up freaking stuff in order to garner more attention so that people can come and make you feel like you are as famous as you want to feel you are.
Yep.
This is exactly what this is giving me, and it's freaking sad because this man is talented. This boy can sing. He can perform. But because his career isn't going and growing bigger and better than the way that he thinks. He's forced to put himself out here and do fucking stupid stunts like this in order to get empathy, because that's all they want. They want attention and empathy. They want somebody to say, oh my God, you're so great. Why are you doing this? I cannot stand this.
Views and likes, baby. It's all about the views and likes.
Yeah, but it's just too freaking much. This younger generation is taking it too far. All right, viewers, how do you see it? All right, everybody, jump down in the chat. How do you see it? Does he need help? Do you think it's a PR stunt? Is it all hype? Or is it harm?
JP Mills said it best. He said he got you talking about him, Al. And I think, guys, we should come in our draws next Tuesday. If we can get Shaitan in the draws, I think the ratings be through the roof. But we'll work on her.
Say Rodney Maiden, you're right, but Jesse was using drugs for real. Ooh. I just read the comment, y'all. I did not say that. Rodney Maiden, whatever person Rodney's from, said Jesse was using drugs for real. He had to be. He had to have been. I promise you. I don't. And for those who don't know, Jesse Smollett's Netflix documentary is coming out August, right here somewhere. It's coming out soon, where he's still talking about the fact that white MAGA guys jumped out of the cab and attacked him. He is standing by his story that white MAGA guys with red hats attacked him on that cold Chicago day. What do you say, Attorney Carter?
I was going to say, I think that proves that he might actually be straight. Because that's exactly what a straight man gonna do. I don't know about you, Jason, but I'm gonna keep the lie going. I'm gonna take that lie to the grave, right? He be 200 years old. He's still gonna be telling that lie.
Order in the court. That's blasphemy. Did you say be straight? You know what, Carter? You do too much. All right, everybody, let's do the verdict poll. Is this a mental health crisis, a PR stunt, or a criminal act in the court of public opinion? Attorney Weiss, what say you? I am done. I
think he watched Old School, and it was Will Ferrell running down the street going, come on, guys, everybody behind me. So, no, 100% a publicity stunt. I think it went too far. When the police got involved, they told him to stop. He probably went a little too far, and that's what got him into this. And, you know, they were looking out for his best mental health issues, and you know, album sales, he probably sold an extra 10 albums because of his tighty whities. And Haynes is now his official sponsor.
All right, let's go, Attorney Carter. What say you?
Oh, no. He's definitely guilty of publicity stunt. The police are guilty of some nonsense here, too. And here's why. All right. I don't know about you, but I saw Lil Nas X lunging at me. I'm not going to be so scared. All right. You know damn well, if you scared of Nas X, what you going to do when Suge Knight come get you? All right. So don't even give me that. And the police do this a lot. They will make sure they charge you with something,
right?
So you don't charge them, you don't try to get them arrested, and you just be happy to get out of jail. So he get out of jail in a couple of days, and you know, hopefully he put on enough close in 2 days.
I love it. All right, I'm Al Reynolds in the court of public opinion, and I'm gonna charge him guilty for being stupid, just stupid. Everybody on this, y'all. I'm just first of all, like I said, you're talented, you're young. You can actually sing. You can actually entertain. You need faith. That's what they need. You need faith. You need to go to church. All right. Or find a synagogue. Find somewhere to go pray, because you want it your way when that's not how this works, in my opinion. Like, these young kids need to freaking figure it out. When things don't go your way, stay on, like, pray. It's free. Don't go to the streets wearing underwear, this little stunt because you can't take it because your career isn't moving as fast and people aren't talking about you, so you got to get back into the front of the papers. Guilty for being stupid. I'm just done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we examine 5 cases where fame meets legal peril. Guns at the gate, deportation shortcuts, assault charges, rogue travel rights, and now this Negro getting on my nerves, Lil Nas X, LA meltdown. Each story begs the same question. What is truth when celebrity meets the legal system? To me, intent matters, but public perception rules. You're the jury. So do you believe that it was ignorance because she didn't know it was her, it was stolen? Do you think it's mental health? Do you think it's malice? Or is it mayhem? The last case, definitely mayhem. Everybody, thank you for watching Celebrity Court tonight. And court is now officially adjourned.